Hello everyone, in this video I would like to talk about how can we send the integer and the real value from Siemens S7-1200 PLC to SQL Server Express, this database. This is the third video. In the first video, we introduced how can we set up the SQL Server configuration, how can we install, set up the database, and set up the table. And in the second video, we introduced how can we send the data. That data is a string value. In that string, we have a full data we sent to the database successfully. Meantime, I also showed how can we troubleshoot one glitch inside the example program. And that time we found the data that is the string style. But in the industry, the most common data, we are using the integer and the real value. So in this video, I will mainly introduce how can we transfer the integer and the real value, combine them together to an entire string, and eventually send to the SQL. So let's shift to the TI portal and let me show how can we do that. And the program we discuss in this video, I will base on this ID number, which is downloaded from Siemens support website. I will based on this example program explain how can we program the transfer function, transfer the integer and the real value into string value and send to SQL Express. Let's have a briefly review. At the end of the previous video, we sent the data successfully to the SQL. The actual data is within this string. And through this execute command, we can send the data to SQL. This command that is a string format. And this insert tool, that is the format, and this PLC data, that is the table name. That is the table inside the SQL database. And this 10, 11, 12, 13, that is the actual data we need to send to the SQL database. And then inside the SQL Server Express database side, and this is the database table name, PLC data. Here we have 4 columns. And the data 10, 11, 12, 13, we already sent the data to this database successfully. And then we found if we need to send the data from PLC to SQL, we need to organize the data inside this command, this string. So inside this string, all those 10, 11, 12, 13, actually they are substring or the chart inside this string. So if we need to send the full integer data to this command, combine into this string. Basic idea, we need to convert the integer data into chart or convert to string and combine this substring together, combine to a total string like this format. So basically, we need to program something to convert the integer. And in this video, I will briefly demonstrate how can we program a FC, the function, to convert or organize the integer and the real to string. So the basic idea to organize this string, we will separate this entire string into 2 parts. The first part, that is this, from the insert from this I to this left bracket. And then the second part, that starts from this first integer data and till this right bracket. So you can imagine the second part will be combined from full integer. That full integer will convert to string. And then we will connect this string one by one together. At the end of this string, we will add this right bracket. And eventually, we will combine the first and second string together. And eventually, we will get this command string. Okay, let me show how can we do that. So firstly, let's go to this new block. And I will set up one FC and one DB. So we will call this FC, we name it convert data to string. This is the FC. And we name this FC, we start from 10. Okay, we set up this FC here. Okay, firstly, we can go offline. And then set up new DB data block. This data block, that is a global DB. And we can set up the number. DB, we can also use a 10. And this data block, I will name it db underscore convert data to string. So then inside this db, I will firstly set up 3 strings. We called string part A, string part B, and entire string. Okay. That is a string. String part B. And entire string to SQL. Okay. The string part A, that is one fixed format. So to set this fixed format, we can go to this SQL config. And this command is here. The first part, that is this area. So we can copy this area. Okay, type it into this start value. So this area will not be changed. They will always like this. And string part B will be combined by several integer data. And eventually, entire string to SQL, this string will be combined with the A and the B. And then I will create 4 integer data because currently the SQL side, we set up 4 columns integer data there. That is the integer. So here we can drag 4 integer data here. And I will set up another 4 strings because those integer data need to be converted to string. So I will name it string data 1. That is a string. Okay, let's drag 4 data here. Okay. Other than that, since this format inside this command, let's go to this command. Let's go to this command. At the right side of each integer data, we have a comma here. And at the end of this string, we have a right side bracket here. We need to set up this comma and the right side bracket. So go back to this DB. And let's set up. So I will insert 2 rows here. Firstly, that is the string comma. And this comma will be this comma. And this string bracket right. So this string value, we will set up this. Okay. So those 4 integer data will be used as a test data. They will be converted to string. And then they will be combined with this comma. So we will set up another 4 data. They are string format. That string will be combined the integer converted data plus this comma. So I will name here string data 1 data string 1. Okay, all those data will be used in my program. Okay. Let's go to this FC10. So let's start program from network 2. So I will right click, we will click this, insert network. So we start from network 2. So firstly, let's copy this string part A into this string to SQL. Okay, so we will use the string command. The string command is here. So extended instruction. To move one string to another string, we will use smove. Okay, left side that is a string part A, right side that is the entire string to SQL. Okay, we will name it part A string. Okay, and next that is the date one. Okay, date one, we will convert the integer into the string. So we will use this command. So val underscore string. It will convert a value into chart or string. So let's drag this var underscore string. So in our case, we will convert this data, integer data, into the string. So the left side, we will drag this date1 integer. And the right side, we will convert to this string date1 here. And how can we program this area? Let's go to the help of this command. Click the F1. So the size, that is the character positions. PREC, that is the numbers of decimal places. And format, that is the output format. P, that is the character starting at which the results is written. So this area is hard to understand. So we can scroll down, look at the example. And this is very clear. For example, if we want to convert the 123, this integer value, into the string. So the size, that is the actual length of this string. So if we need to send the integer value, there's no decimal. So this PREC, we need to set a 0. If we need to send a real number, we can set a decimal here. And from this format, we can see the table here. If we need to send the plus or minus, add this positive and negative sign, we can type in the 004. And the P, we can go to the description of this parameter P. So this parameter P specifies the character in the string starting at which the result is written. It might need a 0 or 1. So let me set a 0 at first. So follow this format. Let's go back to program. And from here, the size, I will assume my integer data, that is a 4-digit. Okay, so I will set size 4. And this PREC, that is a decimal, I will set a 0. And the format, I will demonstrate we have a sign plus or minus. So I will set W palm 16 palm 0004. So this allows this integer data has a plus or minus. And this P we will set 0. This will convert the integer data with those format into a string. Firstly, we can download this simple program. Let's see if this format of this program can work. And this FC need to be called from this OB1. Let's go to the OB1 and set up a new network. Okay, at this network tool, let me drag this FC to call this FC. And then it's done. So let's compile and download. Okay, let's go into this FC 10. Here is online. Firstly, let's go to this DB entire string to SQL, and we can also hit this online. And from this monitor value, it shows the online actual data. And we can see this part A already copied to this entire string to SQL. This is the one temporary value. We haven't combined the part B yet. So this is the first temporary part. Okay, and let's check out this converted value to the string. So we can set this integer data to a temporary test value. For example, let's set 123. And it will convert to this integer. And now it doesn't work. Maybe we need to set this P equal to 1. And let me set it. Set and download. And let's watch this string date1, this area. So it works. We need to start from 1. So it will allow this integer data convert to this string. And because we are using this format 0004, so this value will be added this assign value here. If we go back to this help, let's review. So we are using this format 4. So the value will have this assign. And we start from the 1. So it will convert this 1, 2, 3, this value, to this string. And this size we set 4. This allows this string has a 4-digit place. Okay, this is the first data. We convert successfully. Okay, let's go offline. Keep going. And after we convert this integer to this string, we will combine this converted string with this comma. We can use the insert. So let's find out this string chart, and let's find the insert. Okay, how can we use the insert? We can click the F1, check out the insert. We will use this p equal to 0. If we need to use this insert, this command to join two strings together, we can set a p parameter to 0. This allows this string coming from this IN1 will be appended to this string of IN2. Okay, let me go to there. Okay, let me go to my program. So if we set a p equal to 0, so let's drag this comma here. And this comma will be appended to this string. And then they will join together, output to this data string 1. Okay, so let me download. So we can see after this insert, when we set a 0, so this 1, 2, 3 will join this comma here. So this is converted and joined this string. It is here, date string 1. And after this convert and insert, we can use the similar idea and join this current until string to SQL. Join this current string with this converted data string. So we will use a similar way. And I will program here, insert again. And this time, we will join this converted data string, and then we will insert this string part B. And then at this IN2, we will drag this string part B. And we will insert this data string 1, this converted string, into this part B string. Okay, the result, we will also output to this string part B. But here, keep in mind, if now I download this program, so this program will keep inserting this string into this part B string. So inside this string part B, it will be a long string because this command will keep inserting this string data 1 into this string part B. So to solve this problem, at the beginning of this network, we need to initial 0 to this string part B. To initial 0 to this string part B, we can do this. We can use smove. And we can use, so we can use, just type in this. That is the empty string. And copy this empty string to this string part B. Okay, so I will drag this string part B. So I will drag this string part B to here. So we will initial this string part B, that is 0. And at here, it will add 1 time because the next loop, it will re-zero this string part B. Because this string part B will be used as a temporary value within this networks. Okay, so once we have this initial here, we can download the program. We can test the current program. check out how it works. And meantime, I can use this watch table. This watch table comes from the watch table and the forced table. We can double click, add a new watch table. Because from the previous video, I already set up this watch table. I can double click, open this watch table. Okay, and we can type in this. I will drag the string. I will drag those three string here, and also I will drag this full integer data at here, and then I will drag this converted data for us to check out the converted result. And we can see currently the string part B is already inserted by this date string 1. Okay, so that means this program is correct. So in this network date 1, we have a string convert. We will use to insert to combine the comma and also combined into this part B string. So the rest of three data 2, 3, 4, we will use a similar way. Okay, let me copy, and this is the data 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. So this part B will not be changed. We will keep inserting the new data into this string part B. Okay, this is the date 2. I will create another 2 integer data. Let's test 4 integer data at first. Okay, till here we finish all those 4 data. So if I hit this button, close all the networks, we can see we program 4 data convert, and we convert 4 data with a comma into this part B. So at the end of this date 4, at here, this string part B should have this 4 data with a comma. So let's hit the save and download. And let's type in the new data for the date 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 100. Okay. Click this button, it will write those data. And we can see those 4 data converted to this string style plus the comma. And inside this string part B, we will see they will be insert one by one and eventually will combine like this. And we can see the format inside the string part B is similar as here. But we can see at the end of this part B, it should a bracket rather than this comma. So we need to go back to this date 4, the last data, and change this comma to bracket. And then we will insert this part B attached with this part A, joined A and B together, convert to this entire string to SQL. Okay, so the last data, we will not insert the comma. Instead of the comma, we will insert this string bracket right. Okay, I will drag this string at here. Okay, so this is the string B at the last data. And then we will join A and B together. So we'll use another insert here. Part A plus part B. The IN1 will be the part B string. Part B string. And IN2 will be the part A. And this P will be 0. After this joined, the result will be transferred to this entire string to SQL. Okay, till here, let's download and let's check out this entire string to SQL. Check out the inside data format. download. Okay, let's turn on monitor. Check out this watch table. And we can clearly see the part A string, that is the fixed format. And the part B, it will be changed by this converted data. And at the end of this string, it will be a bracket here. And after A and B plus together transfer to this entire string to SQL, this string, it will be joined together like this style. This will be the similar as our test data. This test data currently is still this command. We haven't transferred this string to this command string. So let me do the final transfer. Transfer this entire string to SQL, convert this string to this SQL config dot comment this string. Okay. And here, we will use that transfer, that S move the string. And we will move this string to that SQL config, open this SQL config. And this command string, that is the actual string, those data will be transferred, sent to SQL. Okay, so I will drag this command at the right side of this S move. So this string will transfer to this string. Okay, let's download. Okay, so after the download, we can see, because we transfer this entire string to SQL, this string to this command string, we will see this command string is changed. So if I change the data, for example, if I change the first data to 147, so we will see the 147, this data will be transferred to this string. Using this way, those integer data can be connected to the actual production data. For example, the numbers, ID numbers, data, inspection data, or some measurement results, right? So those data is the actual production data. They will transfer to this string style and combine together, transfer them to this command string. Okay, till here, we can trigger this execute SQL command, and let's check out if this data can be transferred, can be sent to SQL. So I will turn it off and turn it on to trigger it. And I will turn it on to trigger it. Okay, then let's shift to the SQL side. Let's check out if this data sent to the SQL. And let me shift to another PC. That is the SQL Express. Our data table, that is the PLC data here. And we haven't pressed the fresh yet. So this is the old data here. If I hit the F5 to fresh this table results, and let's check out. So because I triggered one time, so we can see the data was sent successfully to this SQL 147-100 here. Let me shift back to the TIA portal and let's change the data and set the second group. The first data, let's type in 200, and second data 300. Next data 4, 500, and data 4, let me type in 900. Okay, send. We can see this command data is converted successfully, and let's trigger it again. 0, and turn it on to trigger this send. So currently it haven't updated yet, so expand this S7 PLC SQL DB, and to open this screen, we can right click this select top 100 rows. So it will open this screen. Once it's open, it also refresh this table, so we can see the new data 200, 300, 500, 900. They are sent successfully. Okay. And now we did this successfully. We convert full integer data into the string. And the next test, I will change the date 3 and the date 4 into the real number. because the common data we used in the industry, we will use the integer and the float value. So I will change the data 3 and the data 4 into the float. Let's go to the DB10. And firstly, I will go offline and change the data 3 and the data 4 to float. In Siemens, it's called real. Okay, and I will make this prefix, this change to R. It means this data that is a float value. Okay, the rest of the data, they will not change. Okay, save. And then go back to this FC10. Let's go to the data 3, this network. So we will assume this float value before the decimal, they have a 4-digit, and after the decimal, they have a 3-digit. So totally, this float value, the size, that is a 7. And the PREC, after the decimal, we will leave a 3-digit here. Because the data 3 and 4, they were integer value, but now they are real, the float value. So this var transferred to string. So this value here, we need to change to real. And after we change to this real, let's leave a wider range. I will set the size to 10. So let's leave 10-digit space for this real number. Okay, I will leave 10 size. Okay, let's download. Okay, let me hit this monitor, and we can see if this convert is correct. So this 204.567, so it convert correctly, and here it joined this comma, and here is joined with this previous data here. And the data 4 is the same thing. So likely this 10-digit space is enough for this float value. This length, so how many digits of this float, it depends on your application. So this 4-digit for this float value, that is for our test. Okay, the last data, we add a bracket here. Okay, let's go back to this watch table, and let's see if this value converted correctly. So for data here, the data 1, data 2, they are integer, and the 3 and 4, they are float. Those two float value, they are converted correctly here. And don't forget, this plus or minus, that depends on this format. Currently, I'm using this format 04. You can change this format. Okay, now if I go back to this OB1, I'm going to send the data to SQL. Okay, I dropped this communication. So let's set up this communication again. Turn on, enable this communication. It shows valid. That means this connection between the PLC and the SQL, it is successfully. Now let's go to this execute. We can turn on this tag. Also, we can go to the watch table. And this tag is this. So from here, I can turn it on, modify to 1. So we trigger this bit. It will send the data to SQL. Okay, let's go back to the SQL machine. Double click SQL server. I didn't leave this SQL server opened, but the service of this SQL server is already started. Okay, let's click this connect. This service already started. That's because if we go to this configuration manager, and if you record the setting, we set it before from this SQL server service. So it already started. It is running behind. Okay, let's go back to this SQL. Expand this database. Expand these tables. And right click, we can select the top 100 rows. And let's check if that float value sent successfully here. Okay, so the value it shows 204, it should be a float value. And this 1234, it is also should be a float value. That's because when we set this column, they are integer here. So we need to change this third column and the fourth column into the float. Okay, let's change this data type. Right click this PLC data, this table. Click this design. And then I will change this to float, to real. Okay, click save. Okay, it pop up this, saving changes is not permitted. Oh, that's because it cannot be recreated or enabled. We need to turn on one option. That option prevents the saving change. Okay, let's hit this cancel. So we need to go to the tools, options, find out designers, expand. So we need to turn off this checkbox. It shows prevent saving changes that require table recreation. So we need to turn this off. Okay, save. And then this time, if I save this table, it will shows not the table owner. Table will be recreated. Okay, hit this yes. Okay, it will be saved. Okay, this time, if I click this select the top 100, 1000 rows. Okay, let's trigger it again. PLC, this side. So this time, let's change another data. For example, I said 666. Integer data change to 888. And this float value, let's change to 314.567. Okay, here I change 4 to 34. Okay, so write the data into this command screen. Okay, we write successfully, and then let's trigger the send. Then let's go back to SQL. Okay, we come here and let's hit F5 to refresh this table. Okay, this time we can see the data is received successfully. Okay, and because we changed this data into the float, so the real number, so this SQL database received the data correctly. All right, so basically we demonstrate the most of the cases if we need to send the data from PLC to this SQL Express. This is the entire global view. So we initial the string, and the part A, that is the fixed data. So that is the part A inside this string. And then we convert 4 data. The data 1 and the data 2, they are integer data. And the data 3 and data 4, they are float value. And using this insert, we join part A and part B together. At the end of this program, we convert this joined together this entire string to SQL, transfer to this SQL config.command. So eventually this SQL config.command, that includes all the data we need to send. Okay, that is this video. We send the data integer and real value from Siemens S7-1200 PLC to SQL database. Including this video, totally I used 3 videos introduced this topic. Please review the link below this video and check out other 2 videos link. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumb up. If you like to watch more videos in my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching.